Hey everyone, welcome. Glad you made it. I am. I'm gonna dive right into it. I'm not gonna keep y'all long. I just want to pick up where I left off last week to tie this video up. What I've been speaking about. How we might be delaying our manifestations. Yeah, we could be possibly delaying them. Or just delaying our process when it comes to growth and change. And I'm glad you all are here. Subscribe to the channel so you'll get notified when I upload videos. But I'm going to dive right into it. We was talking about the ego. How the ego doesn't like change. Have you ever tried to change and try something different and you always just find yourself just like giving up? You always give up. I mean, even if you just try something different and you get scared, some kind of fear come up on you and you get stuck. Yeah, that's holding us up. That's another way. I was like that. I would start something and I would get distracted. And I realized I was doing it to myself. So I started researching me, my history, my family history, my history culturally. I started learning astrology. I started learning spirituality first back in 2022 when my journey started. That started it. And I started learning a lot of spiritual wisdom with this life. I had to. That was first because I had to go within. And that's spiritual work. But that's another video. I want to stick to the topic. With that being said, I want to break down what I understand with my personal experiences about how we are delaying our process for anything we want, our reality to change, our environment to change. We're holding it up ourselves. We can't blame anyone but us. Once we take accountability for our own actions, we'll see a difference. We'll see a difference in our life. And what I mean is, we make choices. We choose decisions. And some decisions we choose, we're not aware of them, that we're actually making those decisions. We thinking it's us who's making these decisions, but all along it's a whole system. You have adopted old beliefs, outdated structures. You picked it up in childhood, socializing. That's what the ego is. Yep. It's like a system. It works for you to warn you in danger and fear. So it's good to use when you want to set boundaries. So we need the ego. But it doesn't like change. It has been guiding people for a long time. It loves comfort. It loves things that are familiar. And it also loves power. I say it because it's an entity that was created. It's like it is the false self. It's a persona. Adapted, you're adapted to the lifestyle. Okay, for example, you know how you socialize with people, your caregivers, your teacher, your parents, or whoever, just society as a whole. You adopted those belief systems, those ideas. We were conditioned and programmed. The ego is a persona formed through socializing, experiences, and relationships, which acts as a mental boundary or like a mask, to help us navigate the world. So, just to pretty much give you an understanding how it functions and what it is, it's built over a period of time. Now, let me tell you what that has to do with manifesting. The false self is something we've built up over time, shaped by what we've learned from society and what's acceptable since we were kids. These old patterns and beliefs are questionable. They are questionable, y'all. I'm telling you, because they keep us stuck in the same place. Outdated, outdated structures, old beliefs, systems that's rigid. It's probably not working for you now, where you at. I'll give you an example. Marriage, education. Do you really know when marriage came about? way back in the 1800s, only wealthy people was getting married, and they was doing that for wealth, to pass down their wealth, their property, their value, pass it down, inheritance. They were the only ones getting married. That's a social construct. The people wanted it. The social constructs, the people wanted it, and they created. They wanted it. That's why I say a lot of things we have to give accountability. Anytime the collective come together, the majority of the people come together with an idea they want something to happen, it usually happens. The collective win. I know you heard of majority rules. Okay, so when the collective come together, it happens. It manifests. So as far as marriage, like I was saying, the social construct, people wanted it. Wealth, it started with wealth. Pass down your wealth. Okay. Then later on, when the non-wealthy people wanted to get married, they did it out of romance. They didn't have any wealth to pass down. They came along later and got married for companionships, I would say. But before that, it was only the wealthy marriage. You can look this information up. Check behind me with everything I say. And then you have those who come along and got married because of religion. You know, a lot of people get married because of religion. Okay, but fast forward to now. Fast forward today, those same structures are in place now. But guess what? The divorce rate is high. Do you get any invitations to weddings? How many weddings do you see? Now, I know a lot of people don't do the big weddings anymore, but how many have you been invited to here lately? But the divorce rate is high. So you see what I'm saying? Change. Something happened. Change. But the structures are still there. The structures, somebody had a core belief that they were supposed to be with married to death do your part, the vows, but somebody was able to dismantle that core belief if they're getting a divorce, right? Follow me here. They made a change outside of the comfort zone, the familiar. Remember? Routine, comfort. We have to step outside of that. But when we do, sometimes we resist. Well, when I say we, it's the I person, the persona, the ego I was mentioning, the false sense of self, that resists. When you get ready to step into your purpose or your power, or get ready to step into your creation when you want to manifest, the ego likes to be in control. You know, so it's driving you around unconscious, so that's not safe. Because you crash. Anything can happen. So you need to take the wheel. You need to take the wheel back. You're stuck in a place because of your core beliefs. That's what I was getting to. And your core beliefs are stored in your mind. And the ego, all that is a system that works together. It's going to continue to make decisions based off your past experience, keeping you safe from your past fears, your fears, your hidden fears. You know, your emotions are all tied into this. So when I say applying your energy and applying your emotions and staying focused on what you want to do, what you want to manifest, who you want to become, whether it's going on a diet, taking a trip, just learning who you are, and awakening, you'll know how to respond instead of reacting out of the ego. Your life starts to change then. From my personal experience, that's when my life started to change. And I even started back getting hiccups. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to look into it. But I haven't been getting hiccups for a while. I don't know. I started back getting hiccups after I started learning to, question my core beliefs and start dismantling them when it didn't line up with I was trying to do and who I was trying to become. It was contradicting. So I had to go back and question. My nervous system started coming down first. My nervous system. I'm telling y'all, I started back having hiccups. I don't know if they have anything to do with that. I'm not a doctor. But I'm going to take time and look into it because I do notice that first. First things first. That's the first thing I noticed. I was having hiccups like twice a week. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, when you're trying to make that change, you got to always question who it come from, where it come from. Like, when you get ready to make a change, let me give you an example. When you want to step into your true power and change your living condition, your living situation, The first step is go ahead and do it. And when you start, if you feel the resistance, you got to stop and ask yourself, why am I resisting? Once you understand why, where does this information come from? Who I got it from? How long I've been operating? Start asking yourself questions. Start questioning, your thoughts. You don't have to question them like however you do it, just start monitoring. I ain't going to say question. Don't worry about questioning them. Just start monitoring your thoughts and monitor your emotions. Okay? Because the ego likes to make decisions based on what society think is acceptable. It's mediated between your emotions and your fears, some of your deepest wounds. It mediates between that and your actions for society. When you get ready to go out the door and interact with people, your ego is the mediator to help you where you know what's acceptable to society, what's pleasing to society, how to behave morally, if you will, or pretty much how to navigate. Navigate, that's the word I'm looking for. That's what it's for. But it keeps you in a loop, a pattern. It keeps starting over. So you got to train. You got to get it back. Get it on. Tell the ego thank you, like I said earlier. And you got it from here. And start operating in your authentic self. Being genuine. Being kind to yourself. Okay, let me see. Be kind to yourself. Have mercy on yourself. Calm down. And just breathe and relax. You got this. Anything that goes against the core beliefs that you've been operating on this system for years, anything goes against it, it will be shaken up a bit because that is a part of you. That's a persona. But if you want to make the changes, if you need to make changes in your life, you have to start there. What are you emotionally tied to? Emotionally attached to? And why? Start asking yourself questions. Some call it shadow work. They label. But they put labels on everything. But what works for you might not work for the next person. So you have to just go within. And I would just suggest that you monitor how you feel around certain people and certain places. And start journaling about it. You got to start. You got to take the wheel. You got to start. Now's the time to take the wheel and take over your life and co-create and manifest and bring things for you. Just bring it. You can do it. But the resistance that's going to come about, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. It's a bit of a challenge. But that's okay because you understand you are not the body. Remember, we are not the body. We inhabit the body to maneuver around, to navigate. And the ego is part of this system. I hope I delivered this well enough. The more I do, the better and clearer I become. But that's all for now, and I'm going to pick back up later with another video on how the ego and the subconscious work together when manifesting. Now, these are my personal experiences and my research, my thorough research. And so that's all for now. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button and come back and join me later. Have a good day.